Hey, hi, good morning, everybody, and welcome to my Friday morning show. Today, we're going to be talking about the voice of change and how the source of that voice can be internal or external. Regardless, the process for change and for managing change is the same. And stick around until the end of today's episode because I'll be sharing some exciting news. So before we dig in, I'm Mary Marino, and I am a certified life and leadership coach. I work with women who are struggling with change and feeling lost in transition to become empowered toward their new beginning. Listen, you can read all about me and what I do on my website, marymarinocoaching.com. And right there on the homepage, you'll find my ebook, How to Navigate Change and Manage Transitions in Life, the 5 essentials to finding the new you. And you can download that for free when you enter your email and become part of my email community. And you can find all my videos there too, right there under the resource tab. And this happens to be episode number 17, The Voice of Change. And I'll be uploading it later today. So check it out, tell your friends, I'd be most grateful. So last weekend, I was sitting in a booth at a diner right next to 2 other customers who were engaged in an emotional discussion. They were speaking rather loudly, and I couldn't help but overhear their conversation. The 2 were obviously in a relationship, and one of them was talking about how they wanted to venture into change, and the other person was resisting and kept trying to change the subject. They went back and forth quite a few times, and with each go around, I could hear the emotions rising, fueled by desperation and frustration, until finally an uneasy silence fell between them. I was feeling like I shouldn't be listening to such a private conversation, so I was really grateful the conversation that it had ended. But I have to tell you, it really left an impression on me. So you notice I didn't mention if it was a husband and a wife, a mother and a daughter, a father and a son, or even just friends. Just that 2 people were in a relationship, and given the intensity of emotion, it was clear they loved and respected each other a lot. I also didn't tell you what change the person wanted to make. I purposefully left out those details because they're truly not important. This poignant conversation is really a beautiful example of how change affects not only the person initiating it, but the people around them, and especially those that love them. So while each person in the relationship may be differently motivated and each experiencing the impending change from their own perspective, the process for change is the same for both. Same holds true when circumstances dictate change, like a new job or a new home, a new baby. And think about how death and illness or an accident can change your life in an instant. Sudden or not, precipitated by us or someone else or something else, all change represents an ending of sorts, an ending to the way things used to be. And the first step to manage change is acceptance. And depending upon the intensity of the change, meaning how much it personally affects us, acceptance can be very challenging and it can take time. So I'm sure we can all think of a time or a circumstance in our lives when we had to accept change. One we certainly can all relate to is our transition to adulthood, or maybe more recently, the transition of your own children into adulthood, which can lead to the empty nest syndrome. It's a really interesting confluence of emotions involved when your kid leaves home. You're happy for them, but maybe you're feeling sad, twinges of regret. It's a bittersweet ending for sure to a stage of life for you. Similarly, retirement can elicit those same feelings. It's saying goodbye to a way of life defined by the role that you played. Until we get to the point of acceptance, it feels like we're suspended, we're caught between clinging to the way things used to be and the uncertainty of what's to come. We do things like changing the subject during a dinner conversation, or maybe we keep busy, so we're distracted and then too tired to think about it. We hit the pause button on the remote control to freeze the images on the screen, but the pause button is just that. It's a momentary freeze on our movie until the timer times out and you're forced to hit play again. Change is like that. You can pretend not to hear its voice for a time, a long time sometimes, but don't worry, because it'll find you again. There's an analogy that someone once shared with me. The voice of change is like getting hit with balls. So first time around, it's a ping pong ball, and you barely feel it, and you can easily ignore it. The second time around, it's like a baseball. It comes at you a little harder and faster. And if you ignore it again, the third time, it's like getting hit with a bowling ball. So oftentimes, our identities are wrapped up in the roles that we play. Daughter, wife, mother, friend, businesswoman. And when there's a shift, either externally or internally, it leaves us questioning ourselves and the new role we may have to play. It's no wonder we feel anxious and scared and frustrated and angry. So you see, it's not important who the people were who were having that conversation that day in the diner or what change they were discussing. The point is, it could have been me. It could have been you. The emotions those people felt at that table that day were normal and all a part of the process of change. When you hear the voice of change and feel confounded by emotions that make you want to change the subject or pull the covers up over your head, instead stop and listen. Because the first step is acceptance. The first step of acceptance is awareness and understanding that something is ending. Give yourself time to grieve and experience all the emotion that it brings. Sadness, anger, fear, regret. And during this time, it's important to confide in someone you can trust, someone who won't judge you, doesn't have an agenda of their own. Take some time to be quiet and reflective. Listen to what's really going on inside. Ask yourself, how might you learn something from this situation? And what is there to be grateful for? And by grateful, I mean truly grateful, not in a consolation prize way, even if you don't exactly feel grateful. Listen, I get it. When you're pissed off and you're feeling sad, you don't really feel particularly grateful. But you know what? Practice gratitude anyway. As we learned last week, being grateful makes us hopeful and protects our future selves. So I'm grateful for my good health. Because of it, I can enjoy my life. Or I'm grateful for my husband. He's so loving and kind. Or I'm grateful for my job and the lifestyle it affords me. Be patient with the process. There are no rules how long it may take you to accept the change, but once you do, you can start the process of transition and moving forward toward your new beginning. So I want to thank you all for joining me here today. I am grateful for your support as always. And about that exciting news, so I have an upcoming speaking engagement. So hot off the press, you are hearing this for the first time. So on Wednesday, March 4th, I'll be speaking live and in person at the Great Neck Library with my good friend and colleague, Irene Tenenyan. So Irene and I will be discussing what is consciousness and how does it relate to you and your perceptions. The event is totally free, but you do have to register in advance to reserve your seat, and you can go right onto the Great Neck Library website to do that. So if you're in the area, it'd be really cool to see you there. I'll be posting all the information with a link to the event down below. And as we get closer, I'll be posting about it here on my business page, on my Facebook page, and on Instagram. And if you're already a part of my email community, I'll be sending the information right to your inbox. So that's another reason to be part of my email community. So what are you waiting for? Go to my website, request a copy of my ebook by entering your email. Done. And listen, remember, you don't have to weather the storm of change by yourself. If you're feeling stuck, you need some help to get moving again, then go to my website. Simply fill out the form. It's on the Contact Me page, and I'll be in touch. And from there, we'll have a really relaxed conversation, I promise you. And we'll just see if coaching is right for you. But in the meantime, you live with intention, lead with integrity, and learn with inspiration. Thank you, and I will see you all next week. Have a great week. Bye-bye.